Hello and welcome to week 10 of the FrankenScrap Crochet Along. And this week we're making the Honeycomb stitch. Now this is a beautiful looking stitch and it's very different looking to any other type of crochet stitch. And I won't lie, it is a bit of a doozy. It's probably one of the most difficult ones in the Crochet Along. But if you get used to where your stitches are placed and make sure that you count your first few rows carefully, then it should all work out. So to start week 10, you're going to be making a foundation chain of 43 and you're going to need to use the hook that you use in your week 2 single crochet piece.
So we're going to be starting in the second chain from our hook. Normally I would make the turning chain count as the first stitch. I'm not in this one, just because it's really important that we can find the first stitch of the row in the next few rows, and this just makes finding that first stitch a little bit easier. Okay, so that first single crochet counts as the first stitch of our row, and for row 1 we're just going to make single crochet in every stitch across. The first 2 rows of the honeycomb are nice and simple. We're just going to make 2 rows of single crochet, and this sets us up to be able to start our honeycomb stitches later. So row 1, just single crochet in every chain, and last stitch. Okay, so there's row 1, just all single crochet. So now we're going to turn, chain 1 and make a single crochet in the first stitch. I'm just going to mark that. And then row 2 is the same again. Single crochet in every stitch across. So this stitch, I would try and keep your tension a little bit looser than usual, as we will be working into these rows again to make the spike stitches of the honeycomb. And it'll just make things a little bit easier if your tension's a little bit looser. And keeping count for the first few rows of this are going to make life a lot easier. So if you find yourself going wrong in the first few rows, it's probably because your count's gone wrong somewhere. Okay, rows 1 and 2, single crochet. Right, row 3. Turn, chain 1. You're going to single crochet in the first stitch. Just move my stitch marker up. Right, so now we're going to start our spike stitches, and we need to make a spike in the second single crochet of row 1, and that's why I started this with a stitch as the first stitch instead of a turning chain. So there's our first stitch, nice and easy to see. So we're going to make the spike stitch in the second stitch. So we're going to go into where that second chain is under there, then yarn over, pull up a loop to the same height as your single crochet you just worked in, yarn over and pull through. So it's a single crochet spike stitch. Now we're going to single crochet in the next stitch. So there's the stitch we just worked in front of, and our next stitch is here, and make a single crochet. So your stitch count stays the same, and then we're going to make another spike stitch in the stitch directly below in row 1. So there's our first spike stitch, that's the next stitch, we're going to skip that one into this one here, into that stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop to the same height as your previous single crochet, yarn over, pull through, single crochet in the next stitch, and that's the repeat for this row. spike stitch, single crochet, spike stitch, single crochet. So we skip that one down there. So there's our last one, knot that stitch into this one and make another spike stitch. And just single crochet spikes, single crochet all the way across. So remembering that you're skipping this stitch and going to the next stitch is easiest way to keep count. It's just making sure that first spike stitch of that row goes into the right place. So they should be nice and straight downwards, and that's how you know you're in the right stitch. But getting that first spike stitch in the right place is crucial for getting this stitch right. Spike, and you can see I'm on my last stitch, and we're going to make a spike stitch in the last stitch as well. So it goes into right here. It does feel very wrong having a spike stitch as a last stitch of the row, but that is how it's supposed to be. And there we go. Just need to get that turned around. And that is row 3. A nice row of spikes. Okay, row 4. This is where we start getting tricky. Turn, chain 1, single crochet in the first stitch. Okay, so we're now looking at the back of those spike stitches. Okay, so our next stitch we actually need to work into the loops of the first spike stitch and the second one. So we're going to go through the side here. Okay, so that's the V of the spike. We're going through the left hand loop of that first stitch and then through the right hand loop of the next spike stitch. Yarn over, pull through the 2 loops of the spike stitch, yarn over, pull through 2, and we pull them together. So pull those 2 loops of 2 spike stitches together. Then in the next stitch make a single crochet, and then we're going to do the same again for the next stitch. Left hand loop of the spike stitch you've just finished working the other loop into, so we finished working that one. Now I'm going to pull this one and this loop together, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, make a single crochet, and then single crochet in the next stitch. And we do this all the way across. And you can see how we're pulling those spike stitches looped together. That's what we need to do. Okay, so through 2 loops, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through, and then single crochet in the next stitch. So we are just working a single crochet, it's just that we're going through these 2 loops of the spike stitch to make it. So at this point you're going to have 3 loops on your hook. Yarn over, pull through the 2 loops, yarn over, pull through 2, and then single crochet in the next stitch. You see you've got these lovely peaks being made. And do this across the row. Through those 2 loops, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through, single crochet in the next stitch, and then we have only 1 loop left, so we're just going to single crochet in that last stitch. And that's row 4. Okay, so onto row 5. We're going to turn and chain 1. I'm going to take this stitch marker out for a minute. Now the first stitch of row 5 is a spike stitch. Row 5 is the tricky row. We've got to make sure our hook is going through in the right places. If you've got your first set of spike stitches all lined up in the right place, this is going to be easier, much easier. if you've got that first placement wrong, this is where it's going to cause trouble, so you'll know. Right, so essentially this is a repeat of row 3. But the tricky part is starting, because our first stitch is a spike stitch, and then we need to make sure our hook is coming through the other side in the right place. So if I turn back over, we need all our spike stitches to come through the middle of these upside down V's. They have to come through there. So you've got to make sure everything's in the right place. Okay. So the first stitch is a spike stitch. So 2 rows below, which is here. See that gap there? So we're kind of halfway in height. Up, halfway up the other spike stitches is where that's going to be. And it's going to be in between. So yarn over, pull up a loop to the height of a single crochet, yarn over, pull through. And that's the first stitch of this row, so I'm going to mark that. And then a single crochet in the next stitch. So if I turn over, that spike stitch is to the left of that first cable there. That's the back of the last spike stitch. It's got to come through to the left. Or right if you're left-handed. Right, so the next spike stitch goes here, okay, in between these 2 spike stitches, into there, yarn over, pull up a loop to the height of a single crochet, and finish off. If we turn around, it's right in the middle of that upside down V. Okay, you don't want it appearing in the middle here. It's got to be the mountain part, not the valley. Okay, so we need it right there. If you haven't got your stitches lined up properly in row 3, if you've started your spikes in the wrong stitch and you've gone 1 too many over, this is not going to line up properly. So if you've got your spacing, your counts wrong in row 3, this is going to show up now. So it should come through nice and easy right here. Okay, so after your spike, we single crochet. And then we repeat. Our next spike is in between these 2, and it's right there. Insert your hook, pull up a loop to the height of a single crochet, and pull through. Single crochet in the next stitch. Right, that's not gone through into the right place. So that's gone into the wrong side. So I went through at the wrong angle for that one. So I just pull that spike out. So it's good to check with each stitch that you're going through the right place. So it should have come through there. And all it takes is going through at the wrong angle. So I've clearly gone through at a sharp angle instead of straight through. So if I pull that out, there we go. Pull that up again. There's a spike. Single crochet in the next stitch. If I turn that back round, it's now in the right place. So it is quite easy to get your stitch in the wrong place. It just means you put your hook through a really sharp angle instead of straight through. Okay, so you do need to check that every so often. Okay, next spike stitch is through there. Try and go through straight this time. Yarn over, pull up a loop, single crochet in the next stitch. And if I turn, that's now in the right place. Okay, if your stitches were lined up wrong in row 3, then the only way you're going to get your spike in the right place is to put your hook through at a really sharp angle. you shouldn't need to. It should go straight. I hope that's making sense. But, you know, if you're having trouble with this and what I mean, come to the Facebook group and I shall do my best to help. Okay, but if you got your stitch counts right in row 3 and it's all lined up as it should, then if you put your hook straight through, it's going to come the right place. Okay, and you can see these are all lined up nicely now that I've got my hook going through at the right angle. Okay, so we carry this on to the end of the row. Spike, single crochet, spike, single crochet. So last spike of the row is here. Pull up a single crochet, and then single crochet in the last stitch. If I turn around, they're all my spikes are in the proper places as they should be. Okay, so row 6, turn, chain 1. Right, so we're going to single crochet in the first stitch, and we're going to single crochet in the next stitch as well. And now we're going to start making our single crochets through those two sides of the 2 spike stitches, and we're going to start pulling them together again. So through this side and through this side. So if you're right-handed, it's the left-hand loop and the right-hand loop. If you're left-handed, it's the right-hand loop and the left-hand loop. Okay, so through those 2 loops, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through, single crochet in the next stitch. And you can see we're getting these diamond shapes. Next one, through that unused loop of that first spike stitch and through the first loop of the next one, yarn over, pull through 2 loops, yarn over, pull through 2, single crochet in the next stitch. And now we're getting these diamonds. The next set that you do will look a bit neater than this, just the first set always look a bit tighter as you go up, but nothing to worry about. So done the single crochet, so through the next 2 loops or the spike stitches, yarn over, pull through those 2 loops, yarn over, pull through 2 loops, single crochet in the next stitch, and carry that on all the way across the row. Single crochet, and then last 2, there we go, pull through those 2, pull through 2, and single crochet in the last stitch of the row. And that's row 6. So continue with the honeycomb stitch. You're going to repeat rows 3 to 6. So it's a 4-row repeat, and you continue that on up.
To complete your honeycomb piece, you're going to be repeating rows 3 and 6 until you have 56 rows in total. Once you've completed row 56, you can cut off and weave in your ends, and then it's time to join this piece to the rest of your FrankenScrap. If you need to see where this piece fits, you can click the link below this video and it will take you to the blog post where there is a layout to show you where this piece fits and how to join it. If you are having trouble with the honeycomb piece, then please do come to the Facebook group and you can ask all the questions you need there and get the support you need. So thank you for joining us for this week, and I'll be back next week for week 11. Bye for now.